We got no music, Wes? I guess not.
That was a little abrupt. I wasn't expecting. Just, I was feeling like it might be a fade or something.
I think he's nervous because I'm here.
Look at Wes.
He's done muted himself. He's muted himself. He can't.
It's not a competition, Wes. He's all nervous. Fred's over here. It's like, man, who's going to co-produce better?
He's moving his
Man,
lips.
I hit the mute button and he doesn't even know.
We can't hear you, Wes. We
All
can't
right,
hear
hold on. Here we go. Here we go.
Fuck Fred.
As soon as we go live, the whole shit show goes blank on my side. I'm like, I'm screaming at it, going, "You guys take over, take over!" Wow. So we're going to play the song anyway. So here we go. All right, we're going to get out of it. So, out me tonight. Fred comes on. The whole show goes to shit. I'm out.
Why are you nervous, bro?
I'll say it's
Man, he's got some kind of Russian techno going on there. I don't know what.
I don't know.
You know,
He's reaching.
not Mississippi music. I'll
And
tell
his
you
first
that.
play
You know?
got scrambled when the screen went out, and he just had to pull that one.
Dude, I got a
We'll help
double
you out.
screen. The sad thing is I got a double screen. The main screen goes off, and I'm like scrambling, going, and I can't get it over to the other one fast enough. So,
That
hey,
music will
our
only
show
make
not only
it
started this
better.
way. I think it's we got some good news right before anyway. So
Mm.
it's going to shit.
Well, man, spoiler alert, man, we're not sure if Ernest is going to make it. I think you talked to Fred, and he's kind of held up with dinner with the mayor of Seguin, I believe. So it's
Yeah.
taking a little than his thoughts. So while he wanted to come on, man, I don't know if he's going to have time to pop in or not. But man, we'll still talk about it because it's a hell of an achievement, and it's a win, I think, for a lot of us that have known him before he even started his restaurant and, you know, cooked against him on the comp circuit and all the rest. To see what he's done over the last 4, 5, 6 years has been, you know, crazy remarkable to watch his journey, you know. And man, I've only seen pieces of it. I remember, I think it was 2019. I went to the banquet in Kingsville, the IBCA banquet, and man, I was just getting started, and I know you were there. No, Phil was there, but man, I was out in the lobby talking to Ernest. Man, I was talking to him about porch trailers and this, that, and the other. You know, I didn't have a porch trailer at that time, and man, he was telling me that, man, his goal is to open a restaurant. And at that time, he didn't have a restaurant. He was obviously just a cook like the rest of us, and I think he was starting to do those pop-ups. But man, he said he'd been competing for, I guess, 10, 12 years. And man, his next step, he felt like, was he'd been building his brand all along to eventually, you know, start a restaurant. So, man, it's been cool to watch that happen, you know, and all of us have been there several different times over the years. You know, he's catered our banquet every year.
Last comment, Russell. Sorry.
We need a clip.
Really? Fucking mayor.
I'll work on that, man.
I'll work on that.
Oh, shoot.
We're taking votes from that guy or gal tonight. I'm just saying. He may not win the election.
Sorry, Bill. You were on a roll. You were doing good.
No, yeah, no, it's, man, Wes is fired. It's no big deal, you know.
You know what? I'm good with it too. This is my last show, everybody.
Man, it won't take much to replace him, I'll tell you that.
We're just switching over. I'll show where Fred where the buttons are. He still won't learn this yet.
Oh,
Now,
man. You need to learn where that mute button is at so you can unmute yourself.
Fred's bringing in the talent, but man, we're kind of a little bit talent short tonight. It's just us, you know. So.
Well, now that Ernest is not coming on, does Fred have to stay?
Yeah.
Seriously, we've had enough.
Man, I'm the one holding this thing together right now because you're all over the place, buddy.
He's the only one that did. He's the only one that did anything this weekend.
We have a show night at this point tonight.
Man, Fred's the only one that did anything this weekend. Man, all three of us struck out. I think you were at the Honey Bun or whatever, and I didn't see anything happen from the Honey Bun.
Honey Bun not until this weekend, brother. I was at the Lazy River.
The Honey Bun still hasn't happened?
No,
it's coming up. You coming?
There's a lot of build.
Wow.
The Honey Bun is this weekend in Lafayette, Georgia.
Have you talked to them about potentially changing the name yet? Officially?
You know, I've had more people reach out to me, and they will not call it the Honey Bee. It is officially the Honey Bun.
The Honey Bun.
Dude, this is no joke. No one calls it the Honey Bee. So
right.
a couple spots left if you want to get in the Honey Bun Invitational.
When you say
Honey Bun,
they need 14, 15 teams or what?
It may or may not be. Hey, man, as long as they're going to divvy up that $700, I don't care.
oh, shoot. Quarters, dimes, and nickels in each envelope. Come on.
Money
that jingles, it doesn't fold, guys.
That envelope's heavy. It's not from the paper.
Mm-hmm.
You had a good weekend, Fred. Man, you got your little RGC, huh? So
not bad. Yeah, little RGC here close to home, man. I really wanted to go to San Antonio to that Lot Stocks and Barrels, but man, we were doing a surprise birthday party for my mom on Saturday. So Harlingen was, man, it's 15 miles from my house, and I went and cooked, turned in brisket, and peeled out of there and made it in time for the party. So, man, had two good calls, fifth in ribs, I believe, and third brisket. Good enough for RGC, bro. So we'll take it.
Yeah.
It was a good day.
Congrats, Fred.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, man. She was, it was funny because my sisters had planned this out. One of my nieces graduated from Texas A&M Kingsville, from college, and so all along my mom thought it was a party for my niece's college graduation. Like, she knew there was a party going on, but she didn't know it was for her. Like, we played it off that it was going to be for my niece, and man, she was really surprised. She started tearing up when she saw everybody there that were there for her, and a bunch of family from all over, man, came down from Dallas and all over the place, and man, it was a good time. We had a good time.
That's good.
Fuck Fred.
I did not mean to hit that, dog.
Pinky slipped.
Once.
It's the biggest button on the control board. You can't miss
it. May be at the top. And look, so if anybody wants these, there may be some fuck Fred shirts floating around the world this year. $20 a pop. We'll get them rolling.
Shoot.
We need some pictures of the control room. We need to see this board.
It's real good, baby.
Man, talking about, like I said, obviously, man, Ernest is maybe a potentially no-go tonight. But me and Phil, and before you joined in, Fred, backstage, we're just talking about how Texas barbecue has changed, and where, man, and Phil was even saying that, man, he thinks Ernest is probably really driving a lot of that change where, man, people aren't just doing potato salad and beans anymore. Man, it's getting it to be an art form. In order to make the list, it seems like, it's man, it's half artist, half chef. I mean, it's a lot of different things,
Yeah, I don't think it's just about the Trinity, right? It's not just about the brisket, chicken, and ribs. It's not, man, there's a lot of guys cooking really good brisket, a lot of guys cooking really good ribs. I think nowadays it's the full package, right? You got to have the great sides. You got to be putting stuff out there that's not your common just, man, brisket, right? You got to do innovative stuff. And man, what Ernest is doing there at the Burnt Bean with all these different dishes he's doing, that Tijuana chicken, man, I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but it's a half chicken. It's a grilled half chicken that they smother in a white sauce. It's like a crema, cilantro, lime. Man, it's delicious. And then he serves it with like a side of fideo and beans. Man, that stuff is legit. Like, that stuff that he's doing, those Korean beef ribs. I don't know if you guys have seen those. Man, those are great.
I've seen the pictures of them.
Yeah, the picture
Yeah.
they used for the announcement, I think.
Yeah, those are in the picture, the Texas Monthly one. That red burger he makes, man, you can't sleep on that burger, dude. That burger's legit. It's really good.
Everything you're mentioning, Fred, that's all new because it's been maybe, I don't know, a year or so since he didn't have any of that. So
yeah,
I guess that bar just kind of keeps getting set a little higher. And we're there, you know.
Yeah, so some of these things he does on like Thursday he'll do one thing, and then he'll do Friday will be another thing, and then have all the normal stuff, right? But and then Sunday is a real deal, you know. Sunday, that brunch on Sundays, man, that's next level stuff, bro. And so man, I've had the conversation with several guys, and you put great food, great sides, great desserts, man, a great atmosphere, and man, great service together, and that's a recipe for success, bro. And you know, I earlier when I texted him to come on the show or whatever, he's like, dude, I'm gonna be asleep, like, because he's man, he works his butt off, dude. Like, he's out there tending the pits at 3 a.m, lighting them fires and doing it right, you know. And props to him, man, because he's been putting in the work. And man, it was his goal. It was his goal to be number one on the Texas Monthly list. And man, I'm super proud of him and super happy for him that he's accomplished his goals. So man, him and Dave are doing it right over there. That whole team there is man, top notch. Burnt Bean is, if you guys haven't been, y'all need to go and hit them up. Expect to wait in a longer line now.
A little longer line now. Man. You got even longer. Man, it's pretty cool to see the different perspectives. Like Bill mentioned when he got in 19, and you know, that was kind of at the start of when Ernest was starting to get into the pop-ups in the restaurant, whatnot. And then, you know, I was kind of mid between you, Fred. You've probably, how long, man, y'all go back 15, 20 years, I guess. I'm not sure as far as, right? So you've seen both of his comp days, I would assume.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of getting on the telly in the last few years, you know. Man, when I first got in, it seemed like you and Ernest were kicking butt out there hot and heavy. And so my perspective is seeing that getting into the competition side, and then I've got to see him transition into the restaurant. And when we had that Paloma Palooza, man, that dove shoot, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't got to visit with Ernest in a while, and I talked to him, and I kind of said, man, it's pretty cool to see you doing so well in the restaurant. And man, you know, obviously I remember him doing really, really well out there on the circuit. And he said, man, that was my goal. I wanted to be, you know, elite level, top team in the competition, and then go do it in the restaurant too. Because, you know, to him is like, man, that's a short list, if there's even a list, you know what I mean? So super impressive.
I don't know of anybody who's had the success he's had in the competition world and be at the top of a list like Texas Monthly in the restaurant world. And not only Texas Monthly, man. James Beard, he's been nominated for best in Texas, and then this past year he got nominated for best in the nation. That's huge. And then
he's also won on TV on the, you know, he won, you know, he's also, man, the guy's won, what was it, Chopped, Barbecue Pitmasters. I mean, the guy's won just about everything he's ever done, you know.
Yeah, he's been on Pitmasters and Pit Wars and several of those Pitmasters type shows, and then he won Chopped Grill Masters. He won that. So man, and he's judged on Chop. I don't know if you guys remember that one episode Carlo Casanova was on, and Esaul from 2M.
I don't remember how to go.
Carlos still tells the story of,
he's probably gonna leave, you know.
Carlos still tells the story of walking into the studio, and he didn't know who the judges were, and he walks in and he sees Ernest, and he's he's freaking tripping out, man, for seeing Ernest there. He's gonna be one of the judges, but yeah, man. So the list of accolades and accomplishments that guy has under his belt, man, are impressive. And I think this last one today is probably man, I'm not going to speak for him, but if I had to guess, this is probably one of his best highlights of his career for sure.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and he said the same to me when we were at, I think me and Phil were there, maybe having breakfast at Seguin, when we had our championship. And he said, man, I'm all my focus is being number one. I want to make, and he goes, after that, man, you'll probably see me out on the circuit doing some comps and having some fun. But right now, man, he goes, I do kind of have an itch to get back out there, but man, I want to get number one first. So,
yeah. No, I've been, I've been very fortunate to cook against him. When we were both, when he was doing a lot more competition barbecue, and I've been very blessed to cook with him as well in competition barbecue. Taking a bunch of road trips with the guy, and man, to Virginia, to Arkansas, to the Royal, to man, we've done a lot together, and man, the guy has a drive, right? Like he wants to win. He wants to be the best. He wants to be innovative and different, and you can tell just in his style and what the things he does, right? Like he wants to be. He doesn't want to be a duplicator. He wants to be an innovator, and you can see that all come out through his food and what they're putting out there at the Burnt Bean, man. So it's really cool to watch from where he's, I remember him cooking on an HEB. I think he still has it at the restaurant. It was an HEB barrel that was cut in half. They used to sell them at HEB for like $50. That's what he used to cook on in competition barbecue. And I think he still has it at the restaurant, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the back of the pit room. But that's what he used to cook on. And man, he was always wearing those chefy pants with little flying pigs on them, and a big old hat. He would wear this big old hat out in competition barbecue. And seeing him go from that to, man, what he's done now is truly remarkable and amazing, man. But again, that's just speaks to him as a person and his drive and his willingness to put in the work to do it.
Man, I think for all those that are tuning in late, man, Ernest may not be able to make it. He's at dinner with the mayor of Seguin, and it's taken longer than anticipated. So he's sent Fred a message. So we figured we would just talk about him, and for the first bit of the show. But man, tell the story, Fred, about when you are cooking together, and call me chef, don't call me Ernest.
No big deal.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, Ernest is a chef. Like he's a chef. He's literally a chef. He's gone to culinary school and done all that stuff. And we were cooking at World Food Finals in Arkansas, and man, we're in this beautiful kitchen, which I'm out of my element in a big old, man, there's stainless steel everywhere, and I'm like, what am I going to do here? And so we're in there, and I don't know what we're doing, man. And then he looks at me and Roddy. Roddy was helping us out there also, and he looks at me. He looks at us with this serious face, and he's like, "Okay, guys, in here, you guys call me chef." But with the man, he was being serious, and I'm like, start laughing. I started laughing. I was like, yeah, whatever, chef. But man, he was, I mean, that's in the restaurant that everybody calls him chef. Like, hey, chef, yes, chef, and it's a sign of respect, right? It's a more of a rite of passage, right? That you've earned your stripes to become a chef. So he wanted us to call us chef. We didn't call him chef.
But I think in the restaurant world, all the fine dining, man, you refer to the chef as the chef, not.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's, like I said, it's a thing of respect and right. Man, but we try to keep them humble.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
man, it's fun to watch. It's man, it's very inspirational. I know that Ernest, man, he inspired me through competition. I'm sure he's inspiring plenty of people who have the desire to, open a barbecue restaurant, or if they have one, man, climb the ladder a little further. And man, he's helped elevate barbecue, to the forefront, which I think is obviously good for barbecue. So, man,
100%. I always give Ernest credit for helping me a lot along the way in Competition BBQ. He was, one of the first guys, or the first guy to ever help me land a sponsorship, right? And back then it was with Western Wood, and so Western was sponsoring us, and then he got in with Smithfield first, and then I got in with Smithfield, and that's when we kind of started going all over the place with Smithfield, right? We went to Virginia, cooked in Virginia Beach. Those trips are 36-hour road trip with him and a couple other guys, or the stories I could tell there. But
that's the ones we want to hear.
Well, man, I remember one vividly, and I think I have a video. We were cooking in Virginia Beach, and I think it was me, Ernest, Carlo, and who was it? Somebody else. Kirk Phillip.
Kirk
Kirk was with us, and Chuck Cherokee Cookers. I don't know if you guys remember him. Kirk was with us.
Pitmasters. He was
he was helping Ernest out and on Pitmasters, and so I'm outside of the trailer, and I walk in through the back door of the trailer, and man, there's 3 dudes standing shirtless with no pants on, just in their drawers or under. It was hot. And I walk in and I see these guys, and they're all shirtless, and I'm like, bro, I need to get out of here. I don't know what's going on in here. I'm out. But man, what those guys what we went through, I think they called us Team Febreze, because man, it's you would go in that truck and it smelled like, man, somebody busted up in there, So we had to buy Febreze on the way up. So we were coined Team Febreze. But yeah, we ended up doing well at that contest too, man. It was one of those guinea pig contests where they provided the meat in Smithfield, Virginia. We got to tour the plant and do all that good stuff at Smithfield, and stayed at this beautiful house on this beautiful ranch, man. Had a private airstrip, and Smithfield set all that up, man. So I've gotten to experience a lot with Ernest, and man, I want to say that Ernest is one of the guys who really opened up the door to the rest of the world for Texas cooks. Back then Texas cooks were kind of in Texas, man. Nobody would venture out, nobody would travel, nobody would, and there was a few that would, but not many, right? And I think after that, the floodgates opened, and people started seeing that you can do well in the KCBS world or in any other sanctioning body that you go out to and cook, man. I think Texas has a lot of great cooks, and I think Ernest was instrumental in putting that out in the forefront, for sure.
Hey, before I go in the background, because I know part of your contract is for me not to be on here, who cooks a better brisket? Be honest.
Man, everyday eating brisket, Ernest.
Hey, I've never seen him pause that long when it comes to talking brisket noise.
No, Ernest was a beast, man, at cooking comp briskets too, bro. So, man, nowadays I don't know. That'd be a good head to head.
Hell yes, that would be a great one. If we could ever get that worked out, have them go head to head. Just
that would be great. Man, he'll beat me all day long in anything else. I'll tell you that.
What's going to happen first, Fred Ernest or Mark Porter KP?
Oh shoot! Blockbuster.
TV worthy. Netflix, if you're watching, man, we've got the script.
We'll do Barbecue South USA. How about that?
There you go.
We can do a little spinoff of it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, Fred, I've heard that before from people like Darren Worth, and that, man, once Ernest kind of got out of Texas, man, a lot of other people, yourself, other cooks started to venture out. Whereas before Ernest, it was Texas cooks and KCBS, and they just ran in those same circles. There was no real crossover. Where, man, today and you can see it. I mean, Wes Garrett, he's a KCBS cook, and me and Phil are predominantly Texas, but man, we're all friends. It's all one family,
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, for sure. I mean, now, yeah, now it's like, man, there's a lot of more people going out to cook the Royal. I mean, and we're flying out to go cook Oregon this weekend. So it's, man, there's no boundaries anymore, right? At least coming out of Texas, it seems like coming into Texas, there's boundaries from other cooks. But
Like
man,
Texas,
us coming out of Texas, there's no boundaries.
Come into Texas.
Yeah, there's a handful, but not many.
Right.
Wes keeps threatening to. And,
Yeah.
I've been in the heart of Texas, bro. I was in it, and it took me 3 days to get out of it. I feel like I was in the egg.
you broke the ice.
I
You got the
stopped
first one out of the way.
puppies just before I got back in Louisiana. Terrible.
Well, man, I do think it's a win. You know, Ernest winning, man, number one, it's a win for all of us because, you know, he came from where we come from. You know, we're all comp cooks, and we saw him, you know, out at Sealy Celebration cooking, and, you know, some of these little goat tracks that we've all cooked. Man, he's been out there in drug pits and done all the same stuff we've done, and to see him excel. And most of these restaurant guys, a lot of us comp cooks don't know. You know, we don't know, you know, some of these restaurant guys, but man, he's bridging that gap too on his dove hunt. You know, his dove hunt, it's pit masters, comp cooks, and restaurants. So man, it was really cool to go to his dove hunt this last year and, you know, meet a bunch of pit masters as well that are strictly just restaurant guys, you know, and he's dominated both fields, really, you know.
Yeah, I think another guy, you know, deserves mentioning is Dave Kirkland, which is Ernest's partner, man. Dave is man, I've known Dave for a long time as well. And Dave is the Mr. Fix-It-All. Like, that dude, man, I bet he put every screw and nail in that restaurant. Like, he did most of that work. That pit room he built, he keeps that pit room sparkling clean, man. He does a lot of the heavy lifting around there. And, you know, Dave is one of those guys that, man, he's the nicest dude on earth too, man. And very soft-spoken, very quiet, easygoing, man, but Super Dave is just that, man. He's Super Dave. He's man, you can't have two Ernests in a restaurant. You got to have an Ernest and somebody else, right? So if you have two of the same personalities, they're going to clash, and they're, you know, in my eyes, they're completely different. And but man, they work great together, and man, they built that thing from nothing to where it's at now. So kudos to both of them and their staff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I often wonder if Super Dave gets as much shit in the group chat that I get. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know if Super Dave gets, you know, I know my name gets dragged through the mud quite often, probably weekly in the group chat. They don't touch
Super Dave doesn't get much. You get a bunch more. Man, I'm getting text messages right now that I'm on this thing. One of them, they pop up on my phone. One of them says, "Oh, he looks so happy."
Just send it to me. I'll put it all up on the screen. Go ahead.
He looks so happy on the show.
They're so brutal. They're so brutal. It's
oh,
so
dude.
Love Bill. They talk shit on them.
You mentioned,
but they wear out. They get on Carlo as well. I see them, and man, they don't even group chat him. They do it right there on social media. You know.
Oh yeah, man.
That's Carlo right on social media.
Oh, yeah, look at the post I did about Ernest, and then go see David Gonzalez's comments, Salty's comments on there. He's all over it, dude.
Everybody's running to the comment.
Oh yeah, Oki's like, he's done congratulated him 17 times.
Oh yeah,
it's just ruthless.
Those guys are guys. For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, is I'm on a group thread with Ernest and a bunch of other close friends of mine, and man, Bill's name comes up a lot.
I'm not in the group thread, but I'm talked about a lot in the group thread.
Yeah,
yeah. And mainly they give Fred shit for hanging out with me. You know.
Yeah, they give me a hard time for hanging out with Bill.
Yeah,
I think there's a little jealousy there. Just a hair.
And it's funny too because, man, like David came up to me at San Antonio Road. He goes, "Everything you hear about the group chat is true. I've said it all." You hear anything? Man, I don't like you, and I'm just telling you to your face, I don't like you. You know, it was so funny.
Hey, before you guys switch over to bringing Brian on, man, can you even mention? Did you do something at Memphis in May? Did you show up and cook something?
Oh man, it was a group effort, but yeah, we did pretty good. Did pretty good. Little first place beef category in Memphis in May. It had LC products, chicken fried products, Pinkerton's products, and my products in there. So man, it was a good day for all of us.
Sweet.
Yeah, and it was a good day for Pinkerton's in Memphis in May. And
absolutely, man.
Shout out to Grant, third time making the top 50. And shout out to everybody that was in the top 50. Man, I don't know a lot of them, right? And I think it's pretty cool that Ernest is kind of bridging that gap, Bill, like you mentioned with the dove hunting, because man, it's cool to see it, see it from a different viewpoint, right? We've all got a background of barbecue, and it's man, nice to see those guys rewarded for such hard work. So
I can probably tell you that the restaurant business is a lot harder than competition barbecue, man. We go out and do it one day, man. We cook one brisket, a couple racks of ribs, and some chicken. Man, these guys are putting out, man, 20, 30. I don't know how many briskets Ernest is cooking nowadays, but I'm sure he's going to have to cook more now. But man, they're putting out a lot of barbecue, and it has to all be good. We just have to focus on one brisket, right? And these guys are, man, putting out excellent barbecue every single day that they're open, and man, pleasing the crowds, and people are paying for that, So man, if somebody's paying for it, they're going to be critical. We give it to judges, we give it to the neighbors, and man, they all love it because it's free. But man, start charging some people, and they're going to be critical of you. So
bar goes up.
Oh yeah, for sure. That bar goes way up.
There's Pinkerton. There's Grant. Congrats, Grant. Yeah. I spoke to Grant earlier today, and Grant's, man, he's built a machine as well, with 2 locations, and he wasn't even in the restaurant or whenever they showed up to evaluate him, and he was just talking how it's a testament to him and his wife have built, that they're not there, and man, to still make the list and not even be there and have the guys just go through the line. Man, shout out to Grant Pinkerton for sure.
100%, man, 100%. Man, I think
that's awesome.
Yeah, so. three in a row, right? 3 lists in a row, which are every 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an impressive track record, man. And man, I'm excited to see what he's got up his sleeves, and we know a little bit about it, but man, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we need to get Grant on the show. Phil was talking about it earlier. We need to get him on, and man, I don't want to say what he's got up his sleeve, but I think all 3 of us know. We'll let him disclose what he wants to disclose. But man, he's got some exciting things at work. So
absolutely,
man, looking forward to seeing what he does on the barbecue scene. And man, he's another one that's just, man, he's knee deep in it. He eats, sleeps and breathes it.
100%.
And you see him at that hog in Memphis. He's all over that hog, man. He is mad at that hog, which, man, I love watching it. I love watching how mad he is at it. And he's going to get it. He will get it.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't realize that Grant, before Memphis, I didn't realize he had that salt and pepper rub.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, that stuff is good, bro. I like it.
Right.
It went on that brisket. It went on that brisket. Just the right size pepper and salt, and I don't know what else is in there, but man, that's some good stuff. And man, I think he's got it for sale. It's bottled, so he's got it for sale. And that new sweet sauce he came out with is pretty good too, man. So there it is. That's the one. Salt and pepper, baby.
That's it,
man. Right, that stuff is pretty good. I think that's what they use at the restaurant, if I'm not mistaken, or something pretty close to that. Yeah,
it is. And that's exactly what he uses at the restaurant. Yeah, and this is his new sweet
sauce.
Sent me a package. Yeah. So
yep.
Yes, sir. I need to pack this guy for Oregon this week.
All right. I might need some.
Right.
That rub has made me a lot of money. There you go.
Well, man, Fred, you're welcome to stay on. We got Peyton. I know he would love to have you on here with him as well. Man, I think he would prefer you over Wes. But we're going to bring on. We're going to bring on. And if y'all have it, man, well, I will close on the Ernest segment. Congratulations, Burnt Bean, and to David, both of them, man. And like I said, it's a win for all of us. I feel like it's a win for us. So a win for Texas and all us comp guys. So
Absolutely.
Congrats, guys, and everyone that made the list. Congrats.
Yeah. I think didn't Aaron make the list? Aaron Leslie did.
Yeah, Midland Meat Company. Yeah, top 50. Yep.
He was in the comments too. I don't know if he's still there, but yeah, he made the list. Congrats, Aaron. So, but yeah, without further ado, we got a world champion to talk to. There he is.
What's up, Brian?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Congrats, buddy. Huh?
I feel like
What's
I won
up, Brian?
twice. I got producer Fred on, and I won a world championship this weekend. That's like 2 wins.
That's like 2 wins, baby. Man, I see you got the West thing going on with the
Fred over West. He actually requested Fred over West.
that was in the contract, right?
guys. True story. Ernest didn't come on because Wes was going to be on. I'm just going to put it out there
tonight.
Sorry.
On the next episode of Producer Wars.
Shut the fuck up.
He's still got the buttons.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it feel, Brian? Huh? You still a little cloud nine in it or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Today was back to work and back to the normal grind, so it was cool. But I don't know, man. It was a crazy weekend.
I know.
What else to say?
Yeah, shit. So just looking at the scores after it happened, I noticed the top 3 were tied, right?
It was close. So,
yeah. So did y'all have the exact same score, the top 3?
Yeah. We had the highest drop score, is what it came down to.
Take us through the calls. What were the calls, and did y'all see it coming and felt like that was the 3 games?
I don't know if you ever see it coming, right? We had a 3rd place rib call and a 4th place pork call. No chicken, no brisket call. And there were 3 or 4 3-call teams. Smoking Ghost had 3 really good calls, and then he 180'd brisket, and I'm like, well, he just won this thing. Chunky had 3 calls. Damn Fine Beef and Swine had 3, and we were sitting right next to, I don't know if you guys know Ryan Kane and his wife.
Yeah.
They kept talking about how bad their brisket was, and they 180'd, I think, ribs and pork, or chicken and pork. But they had 2 180s. They had 3 calls, no brisket call. And then Scuffletown Smokers, who won on Sunday, he had 3 calls.
Wow.
So it was pretty crazy. Honestly, going into they announced the top 15 there. I'm like, I think we're going to be 10 through 5. In fact, actually. They do the U.S. Soy Awards, and we got 4th or 5th in soy, which the U.S. Soybean Association sponsors and throws in additional money for chicken, ribs, and pork, because chickens and pigs eat soybeans. So they call top 10 or top 5 in that, and we got, like I said, I think we got 4th. And so I'm like, yeah, I would even told Dad I got back. I'm like, 2 top 5 calls in a field like this. That's a good day. I thought we were going to be, somewhere in 10 through 5th. And then they kept not calling us. And I'm like, damn, we didn't even make the top 15.
So you kind of felt out of it.
I honestly, I felt out of it.
Out of your mind,
once they didn't call us 10 through 5, I'm like, we didn't even make the top 15. And then I'm like, maybe Reserve Grand. And they called Smoking Ghost, who, like I said, I was sure that Paul Buab had won it. So I'm like, damn, I don't know who won this, but it wasn't me, and we didn't even make top 15. And sure enough, when they called us, I was pretty shocked. I still thought we had a dog in the hunt, but I truly did not think that we were going to be the team.
I always think those feel the best, man. When you
absolutely.
Talking to Schaefer, I was talking with Schaefer, and Schaefer I guess he was texting Brad throughout the awards, and Brad had sent him a text saying, man, Brian's got it. It's got to be Brian. I guess that was after maybe Paul got the call. And so Brad saw it coming, before it happened,
I had Jordan Kirkpatrick and Allie were sitting right behind us, and Jordan's sitting there like, come on, Brian. I mean, he's squeezing my arm, trying to keep me calm and everything. And Drew Davis actually got it on video. He sent it to me afterwards. I didn't know he was recording, but I kind of turned around to my left and I saw Brad and Jocelyn Cox with Local Yokels kind of like walking towards. And I'm like, I literally like shoot them away. I'm like, they're not calling us. Like we didn't even get a top 15 call. And then about 30 seconds later in the video, they said, Eric Cantrell, who does an awesome job at the awards, said, meet me in St. Louis. And
man, I got that video. So, man, we're going to play that video real quick for everyone to see. I got it here.
Anybody know who won besides me?
They ain't gonna call me.
Paul Buoff, Smoky Joe's Barbecue.
Come on.
Third grand champion with a 705.680. And our grand champion of the Wells Cup. Meet me.
That's awesome.
I feel like there was a. I would feel like there was a few
They're not going to call me. You're right. They're not going to call me.
Like I said, I was sure. I mean, there were so many 3-call teams.
Right.
And, I to be honest with you, like through the, I think a couple people, you asked you how your cook went, and I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, I had the worst cook. I was honest, like I thought we had a pretty solid cook. I really thought chicken and brisket were our 2 best meats, and we didn't get a chicken call. And I was like, oh man, maybe it's not our day. And then we get, the rib and pork. I'm like, all right, we had a good day. And sure enough, it looks like chicken and brisket were good enough,
Mm-hmm.
It's close to, like you said, you look at the top, the three teams tied with the exact same score. So
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't get much tighter than that.
that's how.
Yeah, you look like you were a nervous wreck though there.
I was a little bit nervous.
It looked like you were trying to fend off all the jinxers. Don't jinx me.
Yeah.
Get off me. Get off me.
I mean, you guys know how it is, right? Like every
yeah.
time, when somebody thinks somebody's going to win or in it, you start getting surrounded. You feel like the walls are closing in. You're like, let's just wait till they call the last team and then we'll celebrate.
Man, to an extent. So I didn't get to finish watching. I was watching the live awards, and man, I think it was maybe when they started brisket or somewhere in there that our awards started. So I didn't get to finish watching those moments. And by the time ours, it was like 3-hour awards. By the time it got done, I just went and looked up the results. So I do love watching the awards. It's fun to watch. It was fun watching that clip and seeing the emotions go down. But man, I can only assume that most of the 3-call teams they had already gone because
they had already
got called. Then you kind of go down to
I don't know, man. You never think it's you, right? At a competition like that, if it was a 40-teamer in a parking lot somewhere, maybe, but I don't know. You never think that you're going to be the one to win that competition, or at least I don't.
I think Phil said it earlier. I think those ones that are unexpected are the ones that feel the best, man. I'd rather be in those shoes than have, 3 great calls and then bomb that 4th meet. Yeah. Man, be expecting it like, man, this is me, and then nothing. Yeah. So, those unexpected ones.
Austin Rodeo did feel pretty cool, just so you know.
There was no bead of sweat going down the forehead.
Man, they should have just played the chicken fried song the whole day.
There's
for everybody.
Chance I don't win this.
Yeah. But it is nerve wracking. I remember one year at the Royal, I had 2 calls, and I don't know.
Not always about you, bro.
Like, fuck, is it you, Bill? I'm like, no, bro, it ain't me. Man, my chicken was horrible. Was horrible. And it wasn't me. I had, 2 calls on the open, 180 pork and like a 20th brisket or something. And
it was kind of like that at the Royal last year. We had 2 calls, and I knew our port.
Two calls at the Royal a couple of times, haven't you, Brian? I
Yeah.
mean, it seems like every year I go, I got a couple of calls every year. It seems like.
But last year specifically, and I was sitting there. That was when they had all the rain. And we had gone back to the trailer, because our spot's right by kind of back behind the stage, and waited out the rain for a bit and watched the ancillaries and kids queue and stuff like that, and then went back up there and we get two calls, and everybody around me is getting nervous. I wasn't nervous because I knew our brisket and pork weren't great that day, and sure enough, they weren't. We didn't get called. But
did
this
you
time
finish third? What's your best finish at the Royal? Was it third or fourth?
Yeah, we finished third in 2021 in the Open.
And did you get a square trophy for that?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No,
that's great. Yeah. But 2 years in a row, you've done really. I mean, the last couple of years, I've only cooked the Royal, I think 3 years. You're always up in there,
Yep.
And the guy that tries to take credit for all your success, man, never gets a call, So.
No big deal.
That's not true. Brad Leininger gets plenty of calls.
No big deal.
Well, man, Brad takes credit for Chris's success, and man, I think Chris said, if you won't, I'll take credit for it. So
that's what he told me. He goes, Chris is too nice to take credit for your success, and I take credit for his. So yours is mine too.
He had a pretty good weekend himself, right?
Chris had a hell of a week. I mean, that dude hasn't cooked all year, and comes out and gets first place in ribs with we'll call that a world championship because it is. It's first place in the category of the world championship. And then the next day, man, I thought he backdoored it. He had two really good calls, and
he was
a wild child. And he finished off with, I think, fourth overall, like a 702 or something.
Yeah,
right.
So,
solid.
The dude can come off the couch and whoop.
That's a tough contest, man. That's
no
tough.
big deal.
It's tough. I mean, we went there last year and thought we had a couple solid cooks. And in fact, I'll give Wes a shout out. He came up after day one and was talking to my dad and I, and he said, I told Hannah, whatever happens, I don't have another gear to hit tomorrow. And that's how we felt this year. And sure enough, just happened to hit some good tables. And I don't care what anybody says. At a contest like that or any big contest, you have to cook good and you have to hit good tables. You got to get lucky with the tables.
Yeah, there's no doubt cooking a bad table, in that venue. You just can't cook that good.
Yeah, I don't think bad food. Anybody who gets calls at those or does finishes in the top 10, they all had great cooks. Then it just comes down to who got lucky.
Yeah, sure.
I agree.
Stack for sure. And y'all had what'd y'all have? A little over 100 on day one?
Yeah, we was like 106 on day one, and then day two, there was 70 something, I think.
Yeah, so invitational day two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats to Albie for taking that one down, huh?
Absolutely. And then he had 3 calls on day one.
Are we all lucky he don't cook more?
Yeah, we're all very lucky. And then I even, it was funny. He messaged me Sunday morning. He goes, I'll tell you what Chris told me after I won the Jag. You'll be driving down the road one day and think to yourself, I'm a world champion. And as soon as he won 2, I said, you're going to be driving down the road one day soon and say, I'm a 2-time world champion.
Yeah, very cool, man. Very cool.
But Albie's one of my good buddies. And, we're both lucky to be sponsored by Heavy Smoke. And it was a good day for Chris's sponsor teams and himself.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
And I heard, I was in Vegas and JP Bourbon and Blues. After awards, he had actually, he's, man, did you see who won? I'm like, no. And man, Brian won. I said, oh wow, man, awesome. And I couldn't have been more pleased. I love seeing good guys win, and man, I feel like you're one of the good guys. And man, I was super pumped to hear that you would, you pulled off that win. So, and I knew Chris would have been, just as excited. I know you and Chris are the best of friends, and I was super excited to hear to hear that you had went in there and punched them all in the mouth. I think it's
Brian, what he's saying is there's a lot of shit dudes in barbecue. He's glad to see a good one win it. We just worded it wrong.
Especially out of Mississippi. You know, there's some really shit fuckers in Mississippi.
I'll pay you that money back. Stop bothering me.
Yeah. Hey, where were you at, Wes? I mean, I think the contest was right down the street from you, huh?
Oh yeah, man. I don't. If it's not 20 or less, I'm not jumping in that damn harness.
He was game planning for the honeybee.
He was
honey bun.
Honeybee. He heard Heath Ryle say you got to order 60 ribs to win ribs.
Oh yeah, he told me I'm cooking at least 65. And there's only 4 tables. That's it. So
man, did he text you that recipe or what?
I may have my hands on it. I never got that discount code for your barbecue academy. I'm waiting on that too, by the way.
Man, it probably got caught up in the interweb somewhere.
I jumped on I'm going to tell Phil and Bill that all 3 of us got a call at day 2 at the World. Did y'all know that?
I was watching. I heard Cantrell call us out, and in fact, he did it at the very beginning. He starts calling all these names, and I'm like, "Huh, it's weird. I don't, man. What did we win? Man, we're still won the raffle. Vanessa and Wes, and man, they called out a bunch. Chris Davis.
He did. I got a little. He called like IBQ and first Rich Parker, and then he said Wes Garrett, Phil Breeden, Bill Pearl. I'm like, he's calling all the teams that didn't show up.
I had tuned in right when I heard that, and I was like, that's a badass move.
He finished it off after that list and said, "You've all been officially called out. You've been called out. We're not coming, and we want you here next year." So maybe so. Maybe so. It looks like a good time.
I got to give it to Eric Cantrell. He's one of the best guys in barbecue, and I think he does the hell of a job, you know, announcing awards
for sure,
moving and calling teams. And
no, it's hard to beat. Hard to beat Little Gringo for sure. So.
Yeah,
he had to have you scared, Brian, the way he would stop.
Meat. And Meat Rushmore was about two rows in front of us, so we just kept looking at each other.
He was doing it on purpose because I was even going, "Oh shit," and he would stop and pause. And I was like, "Man, that would drive me absolutely insane." No, because you knew you both were in it there for a while.
Yeah.
So
that's joke too.
That's a feeling you never have, huh, Wes?
No. We there's some Kansas City.
One good time. You see what happened? Son of a bitch.
Well, you had Royal. You had a couple of good calls, didn't you? One year, you 2 or 3 called it, huh?
Well, the funny thing is about him talking about people coming up. We had a 2 call at the Royal. God, maybe it was our last one there. And when Jason Cole had 3 calls, well, he pulls a 5th, and I look around and I've got about 10 people filming me. I'm like, just please, God, stop.
Yeah.
And all I can tell you is I would love that Rio Valley brisket recipe that year. it did bump us down in the teens. So
it's there in the cloud somewhere. You just got to go reach for it.
Wes, you sold me the Rio Valley brisket recipe. You told me I got.
Oh shoot!
Hey, yeah, that's his old one. We'll talk.
That's the Timu version. That's the Timu version of the recipe. You know?
He runs that meat church stuff in there. That's the different one. Sorry,
that's a different Blanco.
Damn it!
That's the different Blanco. Man.
Shots have been fired. I didn't know we were going to go there. Now, Wes always gets the announcer going, and he knows it's him because they don't know how to say it. That's a
it has been Pigginiggly. It has been Piccadilly. It's literally, we won it in Jonesboro, and the guy goes, "I mean this. If you'll change your name, I'll give you a free entry next year." It is pretty bad. So
we got a lot of civil wars going on for Arkansas.
You've been called the Piccadilly Express or what?
It's Piccadilly from now on, Wes.
It is Piccadilly.
They'll say Piglet. That's all they'll say is Piglet. They just call me Piglet.
I like Piccadilly.
Piglet.
I've been called Piccadilly for a while. There's old Piccadilly.
I like Piccadilly.
I like Piccadilly.
The Mississippi Piccadilly.
That's good stuff.
Schaefer's still in here.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. You love
He's
it, man.
staying up late on this one. You know.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's wanting to take credit for it. He's pissed off y'all didn't invite him in here so he could talk about how that was him cooking it, really.
Send him away. Send him away.
And Schaefer's old news. You know what I mean? It's been a while since he's won a world championship.
Oh shoot!
That's all
You're gonna light a fire under that boy.
Yeah, you could hear the thumbs typing right now.
He's retired, you know. So
Yeah.
Let's not poke that bear. He'll come out and hang a 7.
Yeah. If it wasn't so late, we might bring him in, but
Yeah.
screw that. We're not doing it.
what's it look like for you, Peyton? Are you still gonna steady on with your 10 or 15 a year? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we I don't know, this month's gonna be pretty busy. We got 3 SLBS contests in the next 4 weeks that are pretty close to home, and one next
And how many
week.
years have you won Team of the Year there?
Just one. Just one.
Okay.
We,
Once one. Okay.
yeah.
Was that last year?
Was that last year?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, because when were you on? What was that? 3 or 4 months ago? I don't.
Yeah, December-ish, something like that.
Was the KCBS World always on the schedule?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll if we as long as we qualify. I mean, any of the majors, whether it's the Royal and stuff like that, and we'll still do, probably 10, 12 KCBS comps this year. We've done a couple already out in Kansas City. Somebody said they saw our trailer at Smoke on the Shores this year. I don't think we were actually there, but apparently our trailer was there. They didn't really care for what we had to offer that week, but
Now, have you heard? Is KCBS close to like getting a reciprocating deal for the Jack for this or no? Because I've heard different things about the Jack KCBS Invitational or the Wells Cup or whatnot. Have you heard anything like that?
For Saturday, it was an open comp, so it just counts as a Tennessee Jack draw.
Okay.
So, yeah, Eric's coming in. He did telegraph all of Schaefer's calls.
Right.
I couldn't put it any better, and then he started singing "Say My Name" by Beyonce. That was a real treat hearing Eric Cantrell start singing.
Yeah. I heard he good. I knew it was going to be. That was a telltale because when Chris comes to Texas and does the CBA, that's his song.
Yeah.
Look, Cantrell don't miss a beat. He don't miss a
No,
beat.
he don't. He's on it, baby.
Well, that's
He's
cool
on it.
too, having him do awards is he knows every team out there.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Some people
He knows
don't
the
like
teams that are there and the teams that aren't there.
Yeah, he knows he
he's
doesn't
got
show up
both
too.
lists.
We're gonna have him do our CBA awards in Seguin next year.
Right.
Heck
Nice.
yeah. He does a heck of a job, and it was cool. But
Man,
yeah,
and he knows the Texas teams as well. He's up on them all. So he's good shit for sure.
So yeah, we got-
Golf on Thursday at the Royal again, or what, Brian?
I hope so. As long as it's not like snowing, it's gonna be a week later.
I know.
That's the best part about the Royal, man. That's a fun day.
Heck yeah, it is.
See how high Blaine Hunter can get his bar tab, and
Dudes are that.
He's going to come to the Honey Bun and ask
Honey
him if
bun.
he's
Wait,
11.
get it right.
Yeah.
Honey bun.
There's a spot
Things are
right
just
next to
getting
me.
traction.
don't worry. Chris ain't gonna go to Honey Bun
I
in
know he's
Georgia.
not.
He
He's
doesn't
just
cook in
talking
Georgia.
Oh no, man! Chris, he likes to prove a good point. That's
does.
liable to show up. We can all joke, but Chris is very competitive. He's liable to sneak in there, and he's over there with 3 drums like a bomb. We love it, man.
If Chris shows up, where are you going, Wes?
You can come north. There's an SLBS comp in Illinois. Not many jack draws. Just come on.
There's a non-sanctioned church cook.
You got a backup already. I see you.
We'll roll right into that bad boy.
He's looking for the church league. He's going
We'll
church
pull those
league.
donations and tithings right out of that church.
Your trailer's already at Honey Bun. Can you just let Chris use your trailer?
Oh no! No one.
How many bungs is that for you, Ryan?
It's only 2. We've got we won a comp earlier this year, but wasn't 25, and we got one from last fall. So only 2. I don't know. We seem to get most of our GCs in the state of Missouri, and a jack draw out of Missouri and a cup of coffee are about worth the same thing. So.
Well, Tennessee will have 4 or 5, you think, or
Yeah, we got a decent chance in Tennessee. I know Bill Hine at Triple H has one from
Yeah.
Smoke on the Shores, and I forget who won Sevierville.
Wes should know. He was there.
Yeah. Well, it was they don't cook all that much. I'm trying to think of the name. Oh shit. I'll pull it up, but
JJ's Tire Shop or no?
it could have been.
But,
We did reserve it.
but I mean, it's
You reserved it. You don't remember who won it?
Hey man, if we didn't win it, what does it matter?
When you were taking pictures, who was next to you? That wasn't Hannah.
We didn't do that.
We didn't do that. And they were really good friends with that team. Sorry, y'all.
We literally just met them up. They're great people, but yeah, I have no clue. Don't keep up with it, man. I'm very focused on me, and I don't give a shit about anybody else. Allocution. There we go.
Of course, Eric.
Yeah, little gringo now.
Allocution. I can't even say that. That's a tough one.
You know, Wes, did they get 25 and where's that this weekend? Just north of Memphis.
Yeah, they've got 20. They have 25 or 2 teams claiming to come, and they kind of want to stop it at 27 because they don't want to go past 4 tables, is what I'm being told. Which I don't mind. I love a good 4-table contest, but they're 25 right now.
You know that organizer math. That means they're sitting on a solid 21.
Oh, they're probably.
17 in Mississippi.
If it's in Mississippi, that's a firm 14. You know?
No, the money doesn't change from 14 to 25. So what do y'all
No.
do? It stays the
It's a
same.
firm 14. You know?
Mississippi math.
Yeah.
Car math, man. We'll finance that shit. There's a couple of IOUs that went out.
I
And
love it. God, I forget the name of the town, but it's a good. We've cooked it before. I think Triple H has won it like 3 out of the last 4 years.
That's
but,
Covington, Tennessee.
Yeah, Covington.
Yeah, they're hurting this year. I think they're at 19 teams, maybe 20.
Yeah. So I would love for them to get to 25, but selfishly, if they don't, I won't be too upset because it's one less
Sure.
you got to compete with. And we're
Mhm.
cooking Illinois this year, and I think there's only a handful of jack draws out of Illinois that aren't janky leg, and he's already got 7. So
Yeah.
it'll be.
Brian's already over here doing the math.
You know, I don't know. It'd be nice to go cook the jack one day.
And the math could definitely change. July is normally interesting
Yeah.
between who autos, and then once they start drawing, it's crazy. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That's the
sure.
worst day of the year, just refreshing your screen every 30 seconds.
Hell yeah.
Fred, do you know how many in Oregon? Me and Bill were talking earlier. I know y'all are going to cook Oregon this weekend.
Man, I think 3, and 2 of them are the double this weekend.
Yeah.
2 of them are the double. Yeah.
So it'll be whoever won. I think was it last weekend there was a contest there?
I think so. Small Axe told me there was 3, and that
Mm-hmm.
double this weekend is 2 of them. So
So the odds are right there with Texas, man. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and we'll take those Missouri odds. How many are in Missouri?
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah. No, I feel you there. I don't know how many there are, but
30 maybe? I mean, would you say 20 or 30 or I don't know?
I'd say I don't even know. I mean, there's so many contests around the Kansas City area.
Yeah.
You know, they count, and half of them are in Kansas, half of them in Missouri. So I'm not quite sure. I just know that,
Missouri's probably number 2 to Texas for sure. So,
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, probably.
Either Texas or Kansas. I don't know. There's
or
quite a few
Kansas, yeah.
to do just because it
Mhm.
being on the border. But, I don't know.
Then you take out the ones that have already autoed, like if Brad won a couple there or Janky
Yeah.
or whoever, that's the odds are a little better. But
Yeah.
There's only 250 in Texas, so we got a shot,
Yeah.
yep. Absolutely.
Man, they might pull me.
Schaefer. Yeah, 0 buns, and you don't stress at all about it.
There you go.
Oh, he was asking me about, where to fly into for Portland and where to get a hotel room. So I don't know. Maybe he's heading up there this weekend.
Come home.
Come on, Schaefer.
Let's go. Bring me a brisket. I need one more.
Plus,
Right.
once you've won the jack, what's the stress about getting to the
There's a
jack?
Safeway right there in town, Fred.
That'll work.
And I shit you not, I bought a brisket there last year. I don't even know why I bought it. I didn't even need it. I was like, man, that's a good looking brisket.
Was there any good pork up there?
Man, not so much. No.
Oh, shoot.
Man, it was a lot like the Australian pork.
That was a quick-
Really? Yeah.
Well, good
When
luck
is
to you.
Hawaii? When is Hawaii? When is that one?
20
July, ain't it?
July 25th, I think.
Man, fuck it, I may go. Who knows? Yeah.
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 That's an auto.
Vegas was an auto, right? Bill, the one you did this past weekend?
Oh man, me just only 12
It
bums.
was.
Yeah, that's
And would y'all have 27 teams, 30 teams, or what?
Yeah, I think it was maybe 28 or 29. I'm not. Well, we definitely made the 25, but I think it was just short of 30. You know.
Yeah. Man, pretty fair odds, I guess, for an auto, you know, and I guess having the KCBS Invitational probably, man, pulled a few teams that might have gone done that too, I guess.
Man, I think so for sure. But you know, as you guys know, man, barbecue is man, with all the information out there, you know, man, Tuffy's Barbecue pulled off the win. I think it was their first GC, but you know, I think they've been cooking good, and man, they gave Brad a big shout out for their win. So they've obviously had some influence from getting basted. So, man, there's so much information out there that, especially you know, with the barbecue league and all the rest of it, that man, you really got to be on your A game, and you got to get lucky with the right tables. So
Yeah.
it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
You know,
Honestly, it's crazy to see like what Brad Leininger does or what you guys do down in Texas, right? Winning multiple times a year. I don't know that it's ever been harder to pull off a win right now with the amount of information out there, whether it's, you know, Barbecue League, Barbecue Champs Academy, all the in-person classes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's only going to get harder. You know, I don't know if it ever felt like at any point in the 10 years I've been cooking, it's been easy to win. It's always felt like it just keeps getting harder. And man, I can only assume that trend's going to keep continuing to where, man, it's just harder and harder to win, and you got to grind harder than the next person to an extent.
Yeah, and man, some of these new teams, man, they're hungry and they're studying it, man. They're they're young. I mean, look at David Cano, man, what he's doing. He's man, he's a young guy, and man, you can't tell me that kid's not freaking studying it left, right, and center, and he's into it. You know, for him to be as consistent as he's been, man, he's got the luck, but he's also cooking great as well. And man, that didn't come from just you know, man, just watching a video. Man, he's definitely into it, and I think a lot of these people are, man, they're studying it left, right, and center, and they can watch and rewatch and watch and rewatch, and man, props to all of them. You know, I think it's great. So
Man, it just drives barbecue. So
And you guys know you can take the classes, you can watch the videos, but you got to put in the reps and the work. And the more you cook, you know, the better you get, right?
But,
Yeah, I
and
think
you kind of have to be mad at it too a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Like I get lazy, you know. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna run the same sauce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll do a lot of fuck it to where, fuck it, I'm just gonna make one injection for ribs and pork, you know, and man, I'll just run this same sauce, and it may not be the same sauce I had last week. It's just what I have on me, or you know,
Right.
I get a little bit lazy. Man, I didn't used to be that way. I used to be more, you know, a little bit more focused. But whether it's arrogance or whatever, like, man, I can probably, man, I'll just use this. I can probably still walk, you know.
And then sometimes you learn that half the crap you do don't really matter.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, for sure.
And you do still walk, you know.
well, it's definitely 90% mental, and being prepared and execution is the other 80%.
Yeah, I think Phil hit the nail on the head there, man. Because I mean, I've seen it with me personally. Like, man, just being not mentally all there, like not, man, just kind of going through the motions, and to be at the top of the game, man. I remember when, man, I was hitting it pretty hard and doing really well, and man, if I didn't find good ribs at one store or at my shop, I'd go to an HEB, and if they were okay, I don't want okay, I want great. I'm gonna go to another store. Man, I used to drive 7, 8, 9 different grocery stores to get 3 racks of ribs. And I think it's the people who are doing that and want it that bad. Those are the guys like David Cano that are firing on all cylinders right now, because they're eating, sleeping, and living the game, man. And to be at that level, you have to be like that, to be consistent, right? Man, because everybody cooks good, but it's all about the devil's in the details, man, and the little things. What separates you from the crowd? So it's definitely a mental game and wanting it. How bad do you want it?
I see where I've been missing this. Phil, I want to go back to what you just said. He said it was 90% metal and 80%. How much am I? I'm only at 100, but you're a fucking 170%. That is where I'm missing the boat.
That's why he wins so much, Wes.
He was converting it to Mississippi math.
Man,
Hey, and
the Piccadilly math ain't working for you.
70% is paying attention, and obviously you were paying attention.
When I heard that, I was like, "That's why I'm stopping at 100." Phil's taking this shit to 170 fucking percent.
You got to go the extra mile, baby. You got to go the extra mile.
I now know what I'm doing wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Thank
100% ain't near enough. I can tell you
It's
that.
not.
Just ask if we ask Carl the same thing, he'd go, "Yup."
Yeah.
Oh,
Aaron, but you can also cook every week and end up 67th out of 70.
It happens. We've all had those weekends, you know.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. You can cook every week and not do good any week. But man, what's your mind frame, and are you really doing what you need to be doing?
And here's the thing
Well,
about
I think
those
the margins are so thin too. I remember, kind of touching on Aaron. Man, I cooked this one at the barbecue league, man, several years ago, and man, there was like 18 teams, and man, I had won like a 10th place pork out of 18 teams and finished 17th out of 18 overall. And the very next week, man, I go to Louisiana, and it's that same group of teams for the most part, the same. And man, I end up reserving, just running the same stuff, from one week to the next. So,
I just
it's
saw Rockstar put a good question in there. If you guys want to take a look at it,
asking about it when you practice, you run in prime Wagyu meats.
Yeah,
man, I don't practice. I don't practice at home.
When you cook every weekend, that is your practice, really. I mean, to be honest.
I'll be honest. I haven't practiced anything in a couple years. If I'm going to try something new, I'll just go to a contest and try something new. Because what I found was I'm not great at practicing because I'm cooking in the driveway. Maybe I work for a little bit on the computer. I'm watching golf, and you forget about this, you forget about that. That being said, when I did practice a lot, I would run Wagyu. If I was really, and I'm struggling in brisket right now, so maybe I should find some time to practice. But to me, cooking a prime doesn't do anything because it's about texture. And your texture on that Wagyu is going to be way different than a prime. So I would practice with what you're going to cook with. I mean, yeah, maybe not take a Wagyu that's a 10 out of 10 that you would take to the Royal. Don't cook that in your driveway. But, we usually trim up 3 or 4 at a time. And if there's, probably out of those 3 or 4, there's one you're not going to take to a contest. And maybe that's something you practice with.
Yeah, and to follow up on that, Brian, I'm the same way. I have a hard time getting the same level of intensity when I practice.
Right.
Now, when I do practice, man, I typically just want to practice one meat and I'm working on something. And typically maybe that's technique, right? If I'm working on technique. Man, flavors, man, they'll tell you if you're kind of changing some flavor profiles or this or that. And the judges are ultimately going to tell you if they like it or not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're going to practice at home and it shouldn't be that bad to where you wouldn't go run it. But, man, I am cooking 50 times a year, and I realize that some other teams are not. Maybe they're cooking 10 or 15 times, and you need to practice in between to stay sharp or whatnot. And practicing as close as you can to a comp is obviously the best. Would be the best strategy. But man, then money comes into play. Like, man, just dropping Wagyu briskets. And maybe you can know in advance. A lot of times, man, $150 Wagyu brisket. I'm going to practice, and then you sell it to your neighbor or get some of that money back.
Right. Even I'll give a shout out to my buddy Bill Hine at Triple H. He even told me, he's like, if I'm going to practice, he goes, I'll load up the RV and we'll go to a campground for the weekend.
That's smart.
So you're away from your house, you're in your trailer. You got your, the kids got stuff they can do, and then you just, hit your timelines. But I also
give a shout out to Rooters. Let's give a shout out to Rooters. They were in there with the big RGC this weekend, so it was cool to see them. So.
You want to talk about consistency?
That is what I kept his stuff up for. You go right ahead, Brian.
Paul Keltner and Lynn are the definition of consistency in barbecue. Absolutely. You look up their stats on barbecue data. They've got over 300 comps they've cooked, and they're almost never out of the top 10.
Yeah, look at their RGCs. I left this up there because I wanted to come back to talking about consistency, and I know Paul and Lynn are a little upset. They're happy as could be.
Yeah.
But there's no one that's got more RGCs than them right now this year. I mean, I think they got more RGCs than they've got, top 10. If you were to just separate it out. I mean, they're every weekend, no matter how big the contest is, they're RGC in it.
Man, they RGC Mississippi when we were there,
So
And they RGC Mississippi when I was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They RGC this weekend. They RGC. I mean, they are RGC machines. I told Lynn a day or two ago. I said maybe the Jack or the KCBS has got a trade-in program. 3 RGCs.
And I talked to Pam about that last year. I had 11 RGCs last year. I did end up getting 7 on the last weekend, but I'm like, man, can I trade in 7 RGCs for just one bung? It didn't fly.
There's got to be, man. They are killing it. I mean, 700s every weekend, RGCs always in the running. Man, they are on fire.
And hopefully they're not going to Oregon, so.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to get Paul to go to Oregon.
The long
Maybe
haul.
2 years ago he would have.
Well, Brad will be there, so I don't know if Wes Garrett walking by 8's going to show up. I think he's honey bunning it, but
Yeah.
we should have some fun.
You say that, and I said he's got 25. Brad will show up and honey bun and walk the dog. right now, all he's looking for is GCs, man.
Yeah. You better keep that team count low, or he'll show up there, Bubba.
Oh, yeah.
I already know that Reuters they're going to be at the honey bun with us. So they're going to get RGC again this weekend.
Hey, don't forget, Wes, you got that church cook-off in your back pocket. So,
yeah. First Baptist of Huntsville, baby. We're coming if they show up.
Chris is overnighting a brisket. He'll be at the honey bun too.
honey bun's blowing up.
Yeah.
No, if there's nobody there he can take credit for, he's not showing up. He's not doing it.
Well, shoot, man, we're probably an hour and 15 in, man. You got any sponsors you want to thank before we shut her down?
Yeah, I mean, we already talked about him a lot, but just want to shout out Chris Schaefer with Heavy Smoke. He's been sponsoring us.
He stayed up for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's been sponsoring us and doing more than just giving us rub, but giving me all kinds of advice and talking me from driving the truck and trailer off a bridge on the way home from a contest. We finished 35th out of 37, or that. Brad and Jocelyn Cox with Local Yokels, they've got a seasoning out in the last year or so. They won the Wells Cup last year, and they've been really good friends of ours and sponsors. And want to give a quick shout out to Cordy Meats as well. I know Phil and Bill, you guys have both gotten stuff from Jay at Cordy Meats before, and I don't know that anybody takes more pride in the products they send out, or getting you the products you need to do well. And if you don't win with Cordy Meats, it ain't his fault.
There you go. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on. Congratulations again. I don't know if my internet's freezing. I'm starting to see freeze ups on people. So.
You're still here for we can.
And congrats, Brian, on the big win.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome, bro.